How's it going, guys? Coffee here. Today I wanted to go over what my planned league starter is for the 3.25 Settlers of Kalguur League. I have changed my mind. I told you guys in the first video that I was going to be playing Elliot Warden, which I was working on that tree for quite a while. I still really enjoy the build. I think it's going to be good. But I started looking into this Jung Power Siphon, a Locust Mine build, and given the buffs that it's getting, I can't get myself off of it. I went on, I decided to just go and test it on live, which is going to be substantially weaker than what we have, given the buffs that we're going to showcase. So I'll just show you the map we were just doing here is a T16, and this is again using gems that aren't even like I have a level 21 power siphon, I have a locust mine that's level 13, charged mines that's level 9, lightning pen level 5, added lightning level 12, volatility level 10. This is gear using a wand that I used a couple of essences on. So it literally just has a flat lightning damage mod on it, a crit multi, and like a flat fire and a crit chance on it. So we just have Marlene's Fallacy on, which right now, given the crit chance that we have because of the base that we have, this is like pre-buff prophecy wands. This base I'm running around with like 35% crit before power charges. And then I just grabbed a random helmet out of my stash that just has evasion on it. Just anything that can match the res here. This is just in just like a tabula. There's no damage on basically any of my gear. There is actually no damage on any of my gear really. Outside of the weapon, pretty much. So we have Shadows and Dust. I did give him some base crit chance to kind of try to get it closer to what the base crit chance of the new prophecy ones is going to be at 12%. And yeah, all in all, still what I'm seeing here is just the damage and the survivability of what Trickster is getting is just going to be too much to not justifiably go it. So the big things that we are looking at that have been changed here are so this is Jungroan's build again. If you want to get a more concise thing, this is what he's going to cover, but I'll go over kind of what he had in his build, and I kind of converted it down to what I would say is even more entry than kind of what he's running. He's running it still showing it with awakened gems. He's showing it with other things. I want to look at it like, what is it like if you're someone who literally has like one div in currency, right? Like none of this Storm Shroud stuff, literally just a Searching Eye Jewel or something instead. So if you're looking at this, you'll see here again, it's showing about 9 million DPS. This does have the configs here showcasing the adjustments for having the increase and reductions to spell damage also apply to attacks at 150% of the value. This is coming from the change to Vol Power or to Power Siphon here. So if we actually look at the gems here, Power Siphon actually got some very, very big buffs. So you can see here the attack speed has increased on the base by, again, you're getting 15% more attack speed now. And then you are also getting increase and reductions to spell damage, also apply to attack damage at 150% of the value. So they're just taking the mod straight from Crown of Eyes and they're just throwing it onto Power Siphon. On top of this, if you look at the patch notes here, we are also getting the bases for Prophecy Wands have basically had their attack speed increased by a ton. So this is an even bigger attack speed increase. Not that it really affects this build because we're using mines, but they're also increasing the base crit chance on them from 8% to 10%, which is massive. Again, like you're increasing your base crit is obviously, one of the biggest boosts you can get in order to basically ensure that you're hitting 100% crit chance still while using a Marlene's Fallacy. So that's another adjustment I made. He had this using... it had quality on it, or it had catalysts on it, so I took those off because, again, realistically, like most of us are not going to have this at day one, but realistically we should be able to kind of get this gear at the end of day one, right? Instead of this being this chest, you just have like a tabula or something instead. This isn't asking for too much out of people, right? A couple of Searching Eye Jewels, a Stygian Vice that literally just has life on it. Rings, literally, these are just have with life and res on them. The boots themselves just suppress and life. Whether you even have the suppress is kind of whatever in regards to the damage and other things. And then if you look at the weapon that is in here, it's literally just, it has the new base on there with a 10% base, a 27% increased crit chance, and then literally just a single essence, basically, in order to hit this flat lightning and then spell damage. So hitting this with an essence is not going to be hard. All the increases to spell damage you can get are also going to, increase the damage by a ton. Dodrae's tenures are just 100% more, or 100% increased damage without any downside, since we're not actually casting. So these are going to be great. These are very, very low tier unique, or so these are like tier 5 or something. These drop a ton. You'll be able to get a ton of them. Same with Marylene's Fallacy, is not a very high tier unique. These are always very cheap. So it should be no issue getting these. And for the skills itself, I've basically made some adjustments to be even lazier. If you do want to run Jung's version, he's running it using a double curse here with Whispers of Doom. So if you are trying to like min-max the damage, you would basically run it with Punishment. You would still run it with your Mark on Hit, which you can do that. But I'm typically, if I can figure out how to get something to be one button, I'm going to get it to one button. So what I ended up doing is the Flame Wall is here. We're going to presume this is down. If you don't cast your Flame Wall, you don't cast your Punishment. We are just looking at just Sniper's Mark here on top of the other things. And I'm just basically looking at this with a Sniper's Mark with a Mark on Hit. Yes, I know Mark on Hit does not work with your mines, but if you just watched from the video that I was doing, you do kind of just end up shield charging through packs. You do have Trickster survivability, so you are able and capable of just shield charging through packs and throwing mines behind you as you keep moving. So for me, given you are a hit build, you do have a 100% chance to hit. Your marks on hit with your shield chargers are going to land every time. You're not going to need to shield charge through multiple times. It's not a big deal. It doesn't matter. So yeah, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, Mark on Hit works perfectly fine with shield charge, so I don't think you really need to worry about it. If you don't want to use it with Mark on Hit, you can still just self-cast both of these. Again, I don't personally like doing it. If I can get away with not doing it and being lazy, I'm going to try to do that. So as you can see here, this is the lazy version DPS, so what you're going to be getting with some really janky gear here. This is 7.2 million. Again, you add in actually hitting buttons. You actually drop in using Flame Wall here, and you drop in actually using Punishment, and you're looking at about 9 million overall. Again, Punishment only kicks in during the second half of the fight, but that makes a bit of a difference. This is the buff, I believe, to Efficient Explosions. We didn't put the Return Project enchantment. This could get even crazier. If Return Project enchantment does end up coming, then you're going to get even more here because of Return Proj. And then same thing, we're just, again, this is with the spell damage mod here. You are getting your power and frenzy charges through your charge mines, and then you are getting endurance charges through your chest. If you get that chest implicit on there. With influence. So in regards to the tree itself, for this, again, you do basically the standard trickster tree. You're getting Polymath, you're getting Swift Killer, you're getting Escape Artist and Spellbreaker. This is just going to help, again, Spellbreaker's ES recharge along with Wicked Ward and along with all the extra ES recharge. It's just incredibly good defensively. And then the fourth buff that this build is getting is coming to the ES bases. They're getting massively pushed, so Trickster is just going to be ending up getting some crazy amounts of ES possible this league. So I feel like while Warden is great and Warden is good, the amount of buffs that Trickster is getting are just pushing it into a direction that is making it to where it's hard to avoid playing on. So far I'm having a lot of fun just kind of practicing with this. So this is what I'm going to start with. I don't think I'll have a bad time with it, but it wouldn't be the first time we were baited by Jung on something, but it's the first time that I've actually gone in and actually tested it using a very janky setup from whatever Jung posted, and it's still clearing T16s with ease. With, again, very janky gear. I literally just grabbed random things from my stash. I really don't have any damage on here. I'm not... nothing's min-maxed. My supports are all just like random levels. And this is, again, before the big spell damage buff that you're getting on there. So this is just the start for the build. Of course, obviously, once you actually start to put money into it, you get yourself a Void Battery, you get yourself the Malachi Shield here, with the one that's just going to give you damage for power charges. And then again, you can continue to push this even further. Get yourself the boots, which, to be honest, I think Ralakash boots are going to end up being crazy expensive, so I'm not expecting to get these anytime soon. But there's ways to kind of push this build to really take advantage of just getting a ton of damage from all your power charges and just getting power charges on everything. And then, you know, doing typical power charge stacking things. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. And other than that, see you in the next one.